What is a short sale? Remind us again.
I'm sorry?
The short sale is
When the homeowner's involved to sell their home
for
less
than
than what they owe.
less than what they owe. Exactly right. So reminder, what does a short sale get the borrower? What should they walk away with at the end of the day? Do they get money? Hopefully, in their mind, they walk away free and clear.
That's how they're going to see it.
That's right. If you see a house that is for sale, you have a loan, and the house is for sale, and the borrower's upside down, and they're short selling their house, they're trying to do their own short sale. In my mind, alarm bells. Why would you spend any time trying to sell your house to get nothing at the end of the day unless you're trying to scam me? Unless you're working with one of those loan modification type companies that has said, you know what, I can beat up the bank, I can get them to take a lot less, and then we're going to sell it to somebody who really pays market rate, and we'll kick you a couple of grand. Not always the case, but Donna, tell us the short sale that is ongoing on one of your properties. Just be careful with short sales. What does a short sale get you potentially? The upside from a short sale is that your house gets sold quickly and at a market price. You have the borrower managing the transaction. If you have a good person on the other end of the line, once again, this is your assessment of that person, keep them in place. Let them sell the house. We don't have to own the house. Whenever we own the house, it costs us money because we have to pay taxes on it. But it's really the big criterion in my mind is do you trust the borrower? And in this case, if the borrower has some shady real estate company, that's death by association. Finally, how do you close out an asset? Okay, so what we've done now, Cash for Keys is going to be this afternoon. We've got the forbearance plan loan modification, the refinance, and the short sale. 3 of the 6. When a short sale closes, or when, what we're going to cover this afternoon, when we foreclose on a house, or when we get title to the house in a cash for keys situation, you end up with a property that is selling. You get what is called the HUD-1. The HUD-1 is the closing statement, the settlement statement. And what we've instituted as a process is whenever you have a property that has a HUD-1, which is, hey, Aaron, this is what we're going to pay you out on in that first mortgage or the second mortgage, you're going to pass that over to Susie. She'll review it. So we'll actually lay out, we'll have a checklist or process for closing out a property that we'll give over to you. But the most important thing to remember is that you can always squeeze people for fees that they try to collect at the end of the day when a property sells. That's the classic place where people will try to push for as much money as they can.
This is basically summarizes who's paying funds and who's getting funds. So it's showing credits and debits. Or Section J is a summary of everything. So you'll see the $36,000 contract sales price, what we're selling the house for, and that they're paying $203 in some kind of closing costs. So all in all, on 129, they have to provide the escrow company with $36,000. And then below that, you'll see money they've made or credits they've gotten to cover those funds. And then on the other side, you'll see
This is where you're interested.
This is ours.
How much is going to the seller?
So specifically starting at line 500. So they show kind of an overall view. So where I'll look is the $1,600. Taxes.
We'll go to that in a second. Yeah.
Really not anything that you're going to be able to negotiate. So second page, if you look at 502.
So you want to go to okay, so she's going to now drill down on the $1,690. So this is paid by the seller.
So part of that's commission, or if you go to section L, $1,100 is really what I'm looking at.
This is the buyer, this is the seller. So we're paying for this, they're paying for that.
Some of the stuff, like the title insurance fee, that's non-negotiable. That's set by state statute. a lot of times what I'll do in the purchase and sale agreement is I'm going to say that the buyer is going to pay for the title policy, so you'll see it on the other side. But specifically, if you look at 1109 through 1112, that's where there'll be some negotiating. And specifically 1112, where they're charging us deed preparation fees of $50. That's something we can do in-house. They struck that one from the agreements. And sometimes you'll have some luck if we've done quite a few closings with them, so they'll reduce the closing fees. I mean, they're going to get something. But those are definitely all items that are negotiable. But, like in this case, this was the first time I saw the HUD. And usually they'll send you a preliminary HUD. This is the final HUD. Usually I'll send them instructions, please send me a preliminary HUD so I can sign off on all charges. If I get the final one, I probably will make one dime even a little more because I'll have more leverage that they didn't provide me with a preliminary HUD.
This is just a sense of all the different fees that can show up that roll then to that 1,690 number. And then back on the first page again, then you have a couple of addendums. So that's kind of interesting. You're going to want to look at what are those. And then you have, well, where are those addendums?
So there's ones for delinquent taxes.
So you have total reductions of the 36,000 that are due to us over here. And so that's how much is going to the seller. Cash is going to the seller of $31,000. So that can give you the sense of what's the final number. So obviously the lower this number, the more money goes into us at the end of the day.